Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center. I'm delighted to be joined with Ana with her movie Mara Has 3 Jobs in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Let's take a look at the clip.
Espérate. Es que no te había dicho, pero me aceptaron en el programa de maestría que te había dicho.
No.
Sí,
wow.
sí.
¡Felicidades!
Sí.
¿Cuándo te vas?
Julio. Bueno, creo, finales de julio.
¿Julio?
Sí.
¡Wow! ¡Qué rápido!
Sí.
Ana, really, so welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles. Thank you for bringing your luxurious film to us, and we're so happy to have you part of our family. For those that haven't seen this film with the best title ever, tell us a brief synopsis.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Mara Has 3 Jobs in San Juan, Puerto Rico is about a young woman living in Puerto Rico who is a tour guide. And she decides to take on an additional job when her father passes away in order to make ends meet in San Juan, Puerto Rico, because costs are rising because of gentrification and locals being pushed out. So it sort of follows her in the sort of a day in her life as she goes through her 3 jobs.
Mara is amazing. Like, I just literally, this character that you created, I was just completely you just made her very infectious for audiences to really care and adore her, like really. Where did the inspiration come for you, Ana, in creating this story?
I was really inspired actually by the actress that played Mara, Keren Lugo, is a fabulous actress. She was in my first short film, and she and I shared a lot of, we both moved to New York City to pursue our dreams of making art. She's an actress and I'm a writer, and dealing with like leaving home, and then also when you leave home you have to sort of make money in order to afford to live anywhere else, and so we were juggling multiple jobs, and she was dealing with some family stuff, I was dealing with some family stuff. We all started hitting that age range of when our parents start getting ill, and then we have to maybe go back and put our dreams on pause or make certain adjustments in our life, wherever we're chasing our dreams, to go back and help out at home. So it's really a conglomerate character based on a lot of people I know that are part of the Puerto Rican diaspora who are leaving home to pursue something, but also dealing with the familial obligations that wait for us back home, and having to figure out how to make it all work at the same time. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's amazing sometimes when you put your kind of own experiences, what you've been through in life, and you incorporate in this film. And she's a brilliant actor, like super brilliant. And it's tough. I mean, there's lots of people that have moved from other places, other cities, other countries. And they've got to balance 3 jobs, but they've got obviously emotional problems, and they're away from their family as well. And you did a really good job. Now, you actually shot this back in the homeland, right?
Yes, I did. I was really lucky to get to shoot in Puerto Rico, where I'm from.
Yeah. How was that, like, obviously living in New York, but then going back and shooting? How was that dynamic, setting up with production? What was that experience like?
Yes, we were really lucky to shoot in my hometown in Puerto Rico. I shot my first short film in Puerto Rico in August of last year. And we were lucky enough to make a lot of great relationships with cast and crew on the island. And so when I got the opportunity to make Mara, I knew that I wanted to have the same sort of hometown feel production. There's a lot of production that happens in Puerto Rico where it's a lot of outsiders coming in because of tax breaks or whatever it is, but there's a vibrant filmmaking community there. And I just kind of wanted to take the resources that I made here and go over there and make them back home. And also it's an excuse to see my mom and my grandma. My grandma's actually in the movie. She's one of the extras on one of the tours.
Amazing. That must have been special.
So that was really special, and it always makes me like smile a little bit when I see her. The feeling of the set was, it was a hometown production, and just I'm very close and feel such nice, cozy, warm feelings about the collaborators that I have on the island, and I'm excited to keep working with them.
Absolutely. Now you get to experience the journey of this character that was created, going through a lot personally, but like, again, tackling these 3 jobs, just so many influences and difficult things that you go through on a daily basis when you're kind of grieving and going through different trauma. How do you work as a director with your actor? Like, how does your process work, especially when you're, trying to capture? Because you had a very good balance of like there was dramatic moments, there was comedic moments. How was that journey for you as a director? How do you work with your actors?
Finding the tone was hard, I think.
Yeah.
And I think I still have a lot to learn still. But I think that I come from theater, so I studied theater in New York, and then I started making films. And Gering, who plays Mara, is also a theater actress. So we rehearsed, and we rehearsed on Zoom, and we got together in person, really talking about the script, about the characters. And I think, luckily enough, because I wrote the film as well, we were able to kind of figure out how the language kind of fit in her mouth and what sounded natural and what maybe wouldn't, and also balancing the dialogue that was happening in English versus the dialogue that was happening in Spanish. Finding the chemistry between her and our male lead, who they actually are friends from college, so they go way back.
Oh, that's so nice.
And I think my process was really making sure that they knew who the characters were first, and then layering on all of the rest of the stuff, of the scene work and everything like that. But working with them was such a joy. They're so smart. Everyone should hire them. I want to keep hiring them. And really just like making friends with them and sharing our stories with one another, because it's so personal.
Yeah.
And I don't think, obviously, exactly what happens in the movie hasn't happened to any of us, thankfully. No one's drowned anyone.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of the feelings of the story ring really true and felt really true, and that's what I wanted to make sure was the case for both of my actors.
Yeah, no, I feel like you really, the actors just gave obviously great performances, but I always think there's a really, like, coming from theatre, as you said, like, there's a great discipline in theatre, isn't there, that I think is really powerful for actors on camera. Do you notice that as well?
Completely.
Yeah.
I mean, they had their lines totally memorized.
Yeah.
They didn't even have to, give me scripty or whatever.
Yeah.
They had been memorized even at the rehearsal phase. So it was really special to get to work with people who were so committed. And I think both of them work quite a bit as actors. Geren's in New York, but Gabriel is in Los Angeles, and they work, but they don't often get opportunities to shoot things at home, where they're from. So it was also a treat for them to get to go back home and see their families, and also get to make stuff together with people just like them. So it was a really special opportunity for them, and they made the most of it. And working with them was, the easiest part of the process, I feel like.
And some of the things you mentioned earlier about things like that was included in the film, gentrification and inflation, and then annoying American tourists, like these things have really happened over there as well, isn't it? And is that really kind of still quite high inflation at the moment? Are you kind of seeing changes over there a bit at the moment that's difficult for the locals?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, my mom is over there, my grandma's over there, everyone on my mom's side of the family is over there. So I visit quite a bit, and that's what going home means to me, right? When I say I'm going home, that's where I mean. And the apartment we grew up in is now an Airbnb. It's stuff like that where it's just things have changed so much over the course of even my growing up and my leaving, which I haven't even been away from home that long. But I think there is a lot of displacement happening, and it's really sad. And I think Mara is kind of itching at that a little bit. It's kind of getting to the situation. There are people that live there. It's not just somewhere you go for spring break. Which is something that I always felt, talking to people here, they're like, oh, I went to Puerto Rico for like a bachelorette weekend, or I went to Puerto Rico for spring break, but people live there and work there and love there and get their heart broken there, and are also being pushed out. And so I think that's part of what I wanted to capture with this, is a character who's kind of finding herself at a maybe turning point. She no longer has anyone here, so is she going to stay or is she going to leave?
Yeah, 100%. And you really did capture that moment. I think that's kind of very relatable for a lot of people that have been in that situation of just that kind of time in your life where these things come into account, and they change, they alter you. Life alters you and how you feel and what you view as well. What was in your experience making this film, like, what was there any challenges? Like, what was the kind of, from a production level, what did you kind of experience, and kind of following through on that, what have you learned mostly from making it? So challenges and what you've learned from most.
Totally. I mean, every set I feel like has its challenges. We ran into a challenge where we had to actually rewrite the ending as we were shooting, because one of our locations originally, I don't even know how I should say this, but I will. But
Exclusive, exclusive. Yeah.
Originally, we were supposed to see Mara get into the water with this tourist.
Oh.
There was a power outage, and because of the power outage, there was a sewage leak in the water.
Oh my goodness.
Where we were supposed to shoot, so it wasn't safe for actors to go into the water. Which
that's
makes
not
sense.
something a director has to deal with every day, is it? You know?
No, it's not. And so because of that, we had to figure out how we would reshoot that scene and figure out a different way of blocking it and making sure that it gave us a new opportunity to come up with an ending that was a little bit more, what happened? Did she do it? Did she not do it? Like, what's going on? Like, what happened in the water? But it was a really great opportunity to practice problem solving and creative solutions and collaborating with my producers and figuring out, like, what makes for the most interesting ending, thinking about other films that have like ambiguous endings, how they did it. That was the day before our first day, and we were going to shoot that the third day.
Oh
So
my goodness.
that was the biggest challenge I think that we ran into. And producing in Puerto Rico is challenging, especially because we were working remotely for some of the process. We were some producers in LA, I was in New York, so we were all over the place, but I'm really happy with it, and I am really proud of myself. And I think the biggest thing I learned is that there's a solution to every problem.
Yeah, I think that's also down to you, Anna, being a great filmmaker. I feel like you've got this aura about you, like, you know what, we got it covered. We're going to be fine. We're going to, trust the process. So, credit to you as well.
Thank you.
It was so great to see your film on the big screen. Like, really, it was so bright. It was so colorful. It was lovely seeing your home up there on the big screen. And I'm glad that we'll be making many more films back home as well, which leads me to say, what is next for you?
So I'm currently writing 2 feature films right now.
2?
You have one and then you kind of cheat
Yeah.
on one. When you get stuck on one, you work on the other. So I have 2 of them going in tandem right now.
Amazing.
They're romantic comedies. One is about a child of divorce who's kind of panicking over what does one even marriage, if you've never seen a healthy one.
Yes.
And then the other one is about a girl who is kind of figuring out how to get a boyfriend by studying all of her friends' boyfriends and the crazy adventures that happen from there.
Amazing.
So I'm working on those 2 scripts right now, and it's just really fun to work on something a little lighter, leaning more into comedy at the moment, but with, Puerto Rican girls at the center of it. So.
I can't wait for it. I'm glad that you're spearheading these great features. We're ready for it all. I just want to say as well, like, honestly, it's such a feeling when you've worked so hard on the script and you've been through all the trials, tribulations. We obviously loved having your film at NewFilmmakers LA. What's it like seeing your film on the big screen, and then even like hearing those audience reactions as well?
Oh my gosh, so fun. I love seeing this film with a crowd because I feel like there's ups and downs, and they're very like vocal, and I think I love shorts and shorts blocks where there's a big range of emotion and you really get to feel it with the audience. I think it's part of why I probably studied theater, because there's an audience there every night, and it's just so alive and fun. So I think festivals are so fun for me. NewFilmmakers LA was so fun for me because the audience just felt really alive and excited to be there in support of the filmmakers. There was a lot of cast and crew and family, and it was just so special, and I'm gonna remember it for a long time. It was our LA premiere, so it was really special for us.
Oh my goodness, we're so honored. Thank you so much. Really. So, in your creative realm, as a filmmaker, is there any kind of advice you would share with our filmmaking audience? Anything you kind of go by, it's important to you to support other people and say, my goodness, Anna did it, can I do it too?
Yes, the answer is yes. I think that you have to just keep constantly generating material and not to get discouraged. It's so easy to get discouraged, and it's so easy to quit, and that's why so many people do.
Yeah.
And I really believe that the people that continue to make things and have careers that we admire aren't better or worse than anyone else. They just never stopped, and they just kept practicing. And my mom calls it polishing the diamond. Just keep polishing the diamond. And I just, even on the days where it feels like this is the worst thing I've ever written, or why would anyone commit this to paper? It's like you just have to push through and keep going and just keep making stuff.
Amazing. Well, we're gonna watch and want to see everything that you do. So thank you so much. Thank you for your time, but also thank you for your fantastic advice as well. I felt like we've just been on a TED Talk, so thank you very much. It was amazing. But no, congratulations, and just keep making more movies for us, please. Okay?
Sounds good.
Thank you. On everybody.